Rava, 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 rava. Juma, 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 juma. Yagada, roro, momo, momo, ye. Chawan, momo, dolo, eh. Juma, juma. Oh, jaga, 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 jaga.
So we'll begin with stakeholder analysis. Now, our stakeholders are anybody. They can be people, individuals, or they can be groups, or they can be institutions who will be either affected by the project directly or indirectly, doesn't matter, or have some way that they can influence or affect the project themselves. So it goes in two directions: people who we can affect and people who can affect us. So stakeholders can help the project run smoothly. They can support us, they can be our champions, they can cooperate, or they can hinder us and slow us down. And some very powerful stakeholders can even mobilize to stop the project entirely. Through stakeholder analysis, we're going to firstly identify who are our stakeholders. Who are the people where we can affect or who can affect our project? And who are the ones that we have to get on our side to make sure things run smoothly? And we will create a stakeholder management plan so that we can manage their interests and expectations. Now, there is a spreadsheet, an Excel sheet. Please download that because you'll be working with that on some of the exercises a little bit later. Clearly, managing our stakeholders has got to be a good thing, but let's have a quick look at some of the benefits of that. Let's say you have a really powerful stakeholder, whether they're in government or in business, or they have a powerful role in the community, or perhaps they might be somebody who's just an influencer. They can help us very, very much. They can help us gain support. And some of these stakeholders may have very important and valuable insights that can help us better understand the situation and help us better design and deliver a project that does get results. Through stakeholder analysis, we look at what we might expect, what we can anticipate as people's reactions. Will they support us? Will they be worried? Will they be enthusiastic? And how can we tap into that enthusiasm even more? How can we gain that? If they have interest, how can we make them more interested and more excited about what we do? And if they're planning to, or if they're negative about what we do and they may be planning to resist, what can we do to address their fears and get them on side also, or at the very least, make sure that they do not interfere or interrupt the project? Stakeholders, however, do need to understand the benefits of what we're doing if they're to support us. We communicate with them early. We communicate with them from the very beginning. Before we even design the project, we have to take into account the stakeholder interests and how we're going to manage those. Let's imagine that in this particular case, an NGO has decided to set up an inner city homeless shelter so that people like this gentleman don't have to sleep on the streets. How would people react to that? Think about the people who live in the neighborhood, people who run businesses, institutions such as the police. What about the media? What about the healthcare providers? Each stakeholder will have a different perspective on the problem and a different perspective also on the solution. Stakeholder groups themselves are not homogeneous. You may have different opinions within the same group. One neighbor may say, no, we don't want these people around here. That's going to lead to crime and antisocial behavior. And perhaps another neighbor might be saying, I think it's great that we're doing this here, that our neighborhood is the one that's helping out. Healthcare providers may be very, very positive about this. These are some of the hardest people to reach who may have some chronic illnesses and yet they're homeless. It's very, very hard to get services to them. Business owners may say it's going to be bad for business. Some may say it's good for business. The police, here we see the police, they don't know either way. They're neutral at this moment. They're keeping an eye on things. They would need to be closely communicated with and informed. The local councillor may be thinking, this is going to make me look good. I could get re-elected if this project goes well. His opponent may be thinking quite the opposite. And the press. The journalists, they're saying, well, there could be a story here, and there probably will be. But what kind of story will there be? Again, the press, too, is a stakeholder in this case. And how they portray the project and what kind of press coverage they give depends on us.